Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence back at it, back in effect. You know, so we covered all this about the generations and different generations and generation that destroyed America, which was baby boomers. The baby boomers are the ones that destroyed this country. The baby boomers are the ones who sold the crack cocaine, Crips and Bloods. If you know took in them from the Crips and Bloods, they all was baby boomers. So they destroyed the black neighborhoods. I mean, systematically, you know, that's no, I say, you know, it ain't no disrespect, but it is what it is. You know, the Crips and Bloods were baby boomers, the ones that started it. Everybody thinks off the cuff that it was Generation X that did all the damage, did all the destruction. They thought it was Generation X, my generation, but we was too young. It was baby boomers, the baby boomers generation. But when you think about it off the cuff, most people, when they think about Generation X, I mean, Generation Baby Boomers, they gonna think that that's too old to have done all this stuff with the Crips and Bloods and the crack cocaine. But till you go back and look at the dates, when you go back and look at the dates, now you see, oh, okay. You see, it was the baby boomers, and it wasn't Generation X. We was too young to sell crack when it first came out. So who was behind us was the baby boomers. They was the ones selling the crack. Okay? They was the ones selling crack. Okay? So that's who destroyed the community. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to rewrite all of this, and it's not gonna take me a long time because I done spilled some anointing oil on this. I can't even see this, and I realize that's what it is. But I'm gonna go into all the generations because that's an ongoing message for me, because it's something that most black men don't do. They don't break down the black community into generations. You understand? So it's gonna take time for me to register that in the minds of the people, for it to register in the minds of the people about the generations. You got 7 generations, important generations that make up America, that make up the foundation, the history, and everything like that. You go too far back past those 7 generations, then I'm going to be talking about you don't even get, it's not significant, you know, especially for us as black people. You know what I mean? It is, but you know what I mean. Of course, the ancestors are significant, but as far as the history that built this country, it's going to be on the black side or the white side. It's going to be the 7 generations. So the first generation, we're going to go all the way to the back, right? The first generation of significance is the lost generation. That's the actual name. What you'll learn in America, I don't know if they do this anywhere else, but I'm pretty sure they do to signify different generations. But the first generation, we name all our generations. Some people take that for granted. All they know is the baby boomer generation, the Generation X, and millennials, you know. But those 3 generations, that's all people know. But there's more. There's more by name. They have names. So the first significant one is the lost generation, as in something lost, as in found, the contrast of found, lost. The lost generation started in 1883. See how far? I ain't need to go back no further than that. You know what I'm saying? 1883. So the lost generation starts from 1883 to the year 1900. That makes up the lost generation. The next generation is the great generation. The greatest generation. The greatest generation started in 1901 to 1927. Okay? The silent generation is from 1928 to 1945. The baby boomers start from 1946 to 1964. And Generation X starts from 1965 to 1984. And the millennials start from 1981 to 1996. 1981 to 1981 to 1995. Okay, and Generation Alpha is the last generation. Generation Z. That's what I left out. The millennials, then Generation Z, is from 1996 to 2010. So the millennials is from 1981. So I'm part of two generations because that generation starts with my year that I was born. See, that's how. You see how that lines up, the omens on that. I'm in two generations. I'm in Generation X and I'm in Generation Millennials because I'm probably one of the only persons that if you're born in 81, you're the same way. I'm part of two generations. I'm part of Generation X and Generation Millennials, and I'm the oldest of Generation Millennial. So I'm part of the Millennials, which was born in 1981 to 1995. Then you got Generation Z, that's from 1996 to 2010. And then you have the present Generation Alpha, and all the kids being born in Generation now is Generation Alpha, which is 2011 to 2025. Next year is going to start a new generation. See how it's getting crazy, right? See, it's a shift because all the kids being born right now in this month is the last. This is the last of Generation Alpha, and then they'll do whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? They'll grow up and we'll name them for doing stuff if the world lasts that long. But their generation stops this year. And so a new generation starts. This generation, Alpha, started in 2011. Okay, so from 2011, that started a new generation after Generation Z. After Generation Z, which we talk a lot about, is Generation Alpha. And Generation Alpha doesn't get talked about that much, but as they grow up, they will get talked about. As they go into the workforce and go into school and everything like that, they'll get talked about. But right now, Generation Alpha is being born, so maybe that's the reason why they're not talked about. But it's from 2011 to 2025, so this is the last year for the Generation Alpha to be born into. After this year, next year is going to be another generation. Next year, next month, new generation. Ain't that a trip? Okay, so what I want you to do, here's some homework for you to do. So you can do your own researches on war, science, and it gets deep with these generations because you can go from each subject, not only to the destruction of America. See, that's my cup of tea. I'm going to talk about what generation destroyed this country. And, that's along my lines. But you might get into science and what generation was instrumental for certain science and certain other things. And because, every generation has an impact on the community, a significant impact. But the greatest generation is the silent generation because that's the generation we get Malcolm X and MLK. Okay, so if someone asks you, what is the greatest generation of African Americans? You should be able to answer that in 5 seconds. What's the greatest generation of African Americans? Well, I think back in the day, well, yeah, it would be back in the day. The greatest generation of African Americans is the silent generation because off the strength of Malcolm X and MLK, off the strength of them two. Off the strength of Malcolm X, off the strength of Martin Luther King Jr. The silent generation is the greatest generation. The silent, as in silence, the silent generation. If white people ask you or anybody asks you, you should be able to tell them, well, what is the greatest generation of African Americans? Who had the greatest impact? That's a good question. Because you got all the sports, the entertainment, all the music, the phone, everything, all the way live. You got all that going on. So, what is the greatest generation of African Americans? Can you answer that question? The greatest generation of African Americans, you should be able to answer that question. Being pro-black. You got to have your ducks in a row. White man said, well, I don't really see y'all do them too much. Well, who's the greatest, he always talk like he confused, like he on heroin or something. What's the greatest, well. He sounded like he trying to walk around something, ain't he? Well. he trying to walk around something. Well. Hey, he gonna ask you, racist white man, what's the greatest African American generation? Well, what's the greatest African American generation is the silent generation. Well, why the silent generation? Because that's where we get Malcolm X. That's where we get MLK. They was the greatest impact as far as influencing the people. You should be able to tell them like that right there on spot. That's how sharp you gotta be. If you're an activist and you call yourself an activist and you can't tell us what's the greatest generation of African Americans who had the greatest impact, I gotta take points off. You ain't a heavyweight. A heavyweight boxer don't gotta get ready, you already ready. You a heavyweight boxer, listen. The greatest African American generation is the silent generation. That's the greatest one. Because of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. And you could say, right along with that, the civil rights movement and everybody that was in the collective community of the civil rights movement, that consists of the silent generation. If you can't tell people what the greatest generation of African American is, get your game tight, bro. You should be able to tell them. And you should also be able to explain what went wrong, because they might ask you that. Well, what went wrong? Y'all, at first y'all was fighting for rights, and then now, what went wrong? Well, the generation baby boomers came in, and they made the gangs. They made Crips and Bloods. The founders of Crips and the founders of Bloods. The Crips started out as cripplers. They wasn't called the Crips. They were called the cripplers. So literally their name Crip does come from root word crip, like to cripple or to cripple someone. They were called the cripplers. And it's obvious because they would beat people up or shoot them and stuff and cripple them. They were called the cripplers. So that's what the Crips are. The cripplers. And Crips started out before Bloods. Right? The Crips was out before the Bloods was out. Some would say the Bloods was part of the Crips, and they branched off and from the Crips. The Bloods was Crips, and they branched off from the Crips. The cripplers. So the cripplers were first, then the Bloods came. Cuz was first, and then Bloods came. See, me personally, I was influenced by Crips because I had friends that were Crips. That's my story. Everybody around me was Crip. You know what I'm saying? And, so that's why usually it's just a neighborhood alliance. It's as simple as that. It's not even really preference. It's really where you grew up and who you grew up around. You don't really choose a gang. You grow up in a certain neighborhood. Okay, so I had some Crips, some Asian Crips that I was around that everybody slept on, which they was the hardest little kids in the hood. But they got slept on because they was Asian, you know what I'm saying, and they was Crips. But they embraced me. I knew, like, the male and the female Asian Crips, you know what I'm saying? They were all Crips. Jonathan, Kid, Nook, in June. You know what I'm saying? That was the 4 Crips that embraced me, man. You know what I'm saying? So from that point, you know, I had no love for Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Because of them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. And I never really did. It took years, you know what I'm saying, for me to personalize a Blood and to see one that I could humanize. That I could humanize and say, okay, well, they're normal like us. Because what happens is, when you first start out hating a certain gang, it's like they're not human to you. You don't care about their humanity, which means you if you're affiliated or you join them, and I ain't saying nothing fraudulent because I didn't join the Crips. I didn't do it, so I ain't gonna say I joined it, but I was in alliance with their beliefs that I'm against the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't humanize the Bloods. I never met a Blood before. I was just around Crips, so to me, they were just enemies, without a heart, without a mind, without thinking about their life and their family. And then you meet one, and you humanize them, and they tell you their life story, and you realize they're human beings just like you. And so that's how it happened for me. I met this Blood that was from Chicago, old school Chicago. So this was a real Blood from old school Chicago, like the 80s, the 90s. That kind of Blood. So me and him going to the weed house, and he telling me his life story and everything, and just like that. You know, he's a little bit older than me, but he telling me his life story or whatever. And remind you, I got the mentality from the people I've been around. I just don't got no love for Bloods, what they call slobs. You know what I'm saying? So you know it's true. You know, you around Crips, you're gonna hear the word slobs. You know, we don't got no love for slobs. You know, so you know, that's all that was in my mind is slobs. I don't got no love for slobs. You know what I'm saying? So but then I met this Blood, and he told me his life story and everything, living in Chicago and everything. And my other friend that I met him through, he had an attempted murder charge. You know what I'm saying? So I met him through him, and we was all hanging out, smoking, drinking together. You know what I'm saying? But I was a little, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't that used to drinking like I am now. So, but I could smoke, but I couldn't, you know, I was like 17. I mean, you know, but I could drink a little bit, but I couldn't drink hardcore, you know what I'm saying? So, but, like we hung out, I was smoking, drinking with them and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And, so he was telling me his life story. Yeah, like, yeah, man, you know, I was in Chicago, everything, his family and everything. And then he told me he was a Blood. So I'm like, ooh. Like, in my mind, I'm like, the radar, you know, oh, man. Then he showed me the 5-point star, the red 5-point star in his arm. I'm like, man, you know how you feel like, nah, this ain't good. That kind of feeling, like, nah. But he had already humanized himself to me. You know what I'm saying? And I was with my other friend that, you know, I'm at his house, so... But when you're a kid, you paranoid, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, this is a Blood. Why am I? He know I don't like Bloods, though. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? It's like, but I'm not saying this in my mind, you know what I'm saying? So, but that was the first time I met a Blood that I actually humanized, you know what I'm saying? He told me his life story and everything, and his family, and you begin to see that they're humans just like you, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of changed me, you know what I'm saying, as far as how I felt about Bloods. But before that, I just hated Bloods, just based on who I was around. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not a Crip, if you're around Crips, you gonna demonize them, and they not human to you. They just an enemy that you hate. And that's how I need to say it, you know? And when you finally meet a Blood, it's like I did, like somebody from Chicago, that's a Blood. Even though I believe it's fake Crip sets and fake Blood sets all through the country that wasn't certified by California, you know, and I'm the first person that said that, really, you know, on the video, you know, it's a lot of fake sets that California didn't certify from Crips and Bloods. They wasn't certified, so you just made it up. You just made up fake sets. And you could be 100, you could be real, but the set is fraudulent. But that's how people sold the set, is what caused the people real. Of course they're gonna be real, but but you didn't really get that certification. You didn't really get a Crip of blood to come into your city and your neighborhood and certify that set so that you made it up. See, that's how infatuated we was with gangs back in the 90s. We all was. All of us are guilty of it. I mean, most of us that grew up in the 90s, we either went with the Crips or we went with the Bloods. You got with somebody that was either fake Bloods or fake Crips, and you sided with one of the other sides. You know what I'm saying? I sided with Crips because I had friends that's how. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't had no love for no Bloods at all. You know what I'm saying? Through middle school, I ain't had no love for no Bloods. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got to high school, I got kind of through it, and I met that Blood from Chicago. I still was on what I was on, you know what I'm saying? But I had more respect, you know what I'm saying, for the humanizing of a Blood, to see a human being, like see him as a human being. That's why to this day I won't rock too much red. I try a little bit, but I'm just not gonna ever see me flamed up from head to toe. You know, I'll lean more towards. It's funny how the psychology is. Even if you don't affiliate it with it no more, you still can't rock all the way red. You know, I kind of still don't. I ain't gonna never wear no total red. Usually, I'll try sometimes, but it's just like it's a psychological thing that you got to work through. But you know, I'm not opposed to it like I used to be. See, back in the South, if you wore red, you had to wear fatigues to cancel it. That was the code on the street. So if I saw you and you was not a Blood and you was wearing red, you gotta have some kind of fatigue, army fatigues or something. That's how we canceled it out in the South. So if you wore a red shirt, people are like, "Why you got a red shirt on?" Oh, then you canceled it out though with the fatigues. That's how we did it in the North Carolina. That's how they did it. If you was some way you had to wear red for whatever reason, for school or whatever, they always point, kids will always say, "Nah, but I got the fatigue. Here it is, right? Oh, okay. You got a little fatigue something. It gotta be fatigue, and that cancel it out." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's a nationwide code, but among where I was at in North Carolina, that's what they did. But yeah, like the leaders of Crip and Blood, you know what I'm saying, were baby boomers. You know, and that's what basically that's the generation that basically started that. They was also responsible for selling crack. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, we was too young. You know, for example, for me, you know, crack came out the year I was born. 81 on the dot. And so obviously, you know, my generation really didn't sell no crack until at the beginning. It was baby boomers that sold the crack. It was the baby boomers that started gang banging and everything. And those were the main two things that started the destruction of the neighborhoods. Crack more than anything else. Crack was worse than cocaine. Crack was way worse. And what made people start out doing it was because of people that was already actively doing cocaine. They thought it was cool. Oh, now we can smoke it now? Wow, that's gonna be a blast. Think about, you know how to pass with that. Man, that's gonna be a blast, man. You remember when black people talk like that? That's gonna be a blast, man. Man, we can smoke it now? Wow. Because mind you, they was already smoking weed, cigarettes. Now we can smoke cocaine? Wow. They lost their mind. It was off the gimmick of that. We could smoke it now. They couldn't believe it. Because they already love cocaine. Think about it. But it's safe to say crack and cocaine is not the same high. No, I don't think so. Not from people I've listened to. It don't seem like the same high. It don't seem like the same high. It seems like people smoke crack be tripping a little bit. People do cocaine be kind of silly, like almost like weed, you know, kind of like that, you know, and but crack is what destroyed the community, man. It was everywhere. I had aunts drunk, sprung out on crack. I seen it happen. My family seen it happen. I had a cousin stealing my video games, to go sell to get crack. So as a kid, I already knew what it was because I was kind of like a victim to it. Because my family was stealing, my cousin was stealing from me to get crack. He was stealing my video games, the whole TV and the video games. That's when crack was hard, real crack. You know, and the funny thing is, how life is, I grew up to sell that same cousin crack cocaine myself. After he stole from me when I was a kid to play video games, I grew up to sell crack and wind up selling him some crack. He was still on crack by the time I grew up. Because at that time, people stayed on crack for at least 10 years. Something like that. It was a good run. They had a good run. Whoever was on it in your family, they had a good run, didn't they? That part. They stayed on it for a good minute, hot minute. So he was no exception. You know what I'm saying? He was out there when it first popped off. So one of them kind of smokers. So man, I remember waking up as a kid and going to play the game. You know, we call it the game in the South. I'm going to play the game. So I go out there to play the game, and then the whole TV's gone. My game is gone. My Nintendo is gone. I'm tripping. So I'm like, I'm a kid though. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, why TV gone? Video game gone? I went and woke my grandmother up. Grandma, the game gone. The TV gone. She said, boy, get away. Let me get up from here. You know how old people are. Let me get up from here. Let me go see. Let me get up from here. Boy, what you talking about? She went in there. Oh my God. He done stole the TV and the video game. Done stole the TV and the car and stole my grandmother's car. I seen what crack can do, boy. He stole the TV, the video games, and the car. The car. He brought the car back with the window bust out in the back and everything. Like he was getting shot at and all kind of crazy stuff. The whole window was back, but bust out in the back of my grandmother's car, man. I seen all of this. It's still in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was my first experience with understanding what crack was as a kid. My grandmother had to explain it to me. I didn't even know what drugs was, of course, as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know what the concept was and what it was all about and what it do. You know what I'm saying? And but I seen the desperation, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. Like when my video game was getting stolen, and then he didn't stop. The gun that I had, he stole the gun. This man stole so much from me doing crack. He was at my grandmother's house, and this is what it was. I'm telling you, we didn't have the right men in the family. This is no disrespect, because me and that cousin is pretty cool these days. But we didn't have strong men in the family. No disrespect to my father and other men, but we didn't really have strong men in the family to come in and get him out that house, because my grandmother had money, food, and I was over there and I had clothes and everything. But he's sitting up in there like a crackhead. I mean, he in there, that's not his house, but he's sitting up in there and he's lurking on stuff. He's stealing and lurking. So he stole, like, man, I think like the worst thing he stole from me was like this Georgetown Hoya jacket. This jacket was hard. I'm telling you, this jacket was hot. It was tight. Like, it was it was the length of a trench jacket, but it was nylon with the cross stitching. It had the big Hoya dog on the back with the hood. with a hood on it. So it had the big symbol, a big dog on the back, and it was dark blue, no red on it. I think it had it had 2 pockets in the front with the hoodie. Thing was official. I ain't seen nothing like that again. Not from another team or nothing. That he couldn't. I mean, I ain't gonna say it was jealousy, man, but dang, man, he took a jacket like that from a kid. He took that from me. He took a gun. He took my gun. He heard us shooting it in the backyard. He gonna come out there, yeah, man, y'all can't be shooting no gun in the backyard, right? We was kids. I'm like shooting the gun in the backyard at this big tree. My grandmother had this big oak tree, thick, big tree. And I'm just shooting at the tree, right? So he like, hey man, y'all can't be shooting no gun in the backyard. He gonna steal the gun after I did that. Because he knew I had it. So he went looking for it. Found my gun, bruh. Know what I'm saying? Stole my gun for crack. Then, but the funny thing is, I started selling crack. After all that happened, I done stole the gun, stole the jackets, stole the TV, stole my grandmother's car. Then I started selling crack. See, that's the real story in the hood. The sad part is, after all I seen, you would think, he ain't gonna sell no crack in his life. Wind up selling crack myself. You know what I'm saying? And wind up selling him crack. After he stole stuff from me, I wind up selling him crack. Yeah, so, that's my story. Yeah, I saw him crack like twice. Like, I remember as a kid, I had crack on me getting my hair cut. My dad used to take me to go get haircuts. Since my dad didn't even know I had crack cocaine on me. You know what I'm saying? And I was still young enough for him to take me to go get a haircut. And I got crack cocaine on me. Why? Real crack cocaine. While I'm getting a haircut. My dad didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But how I got out of it, because people was gangs. People was snitching me out. Like, this dude, like my mom, right? This dude down the street. So he trying to get points. He done bought my crack for me. But he trying to get points from my mom by telling her something like that. He a sucker. He told my mom I was selling crack. That's what slowed me down. That's what slowed me down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was still young. That's what slowed me down. He the one did it. I sold. What make it so bad is I got in the car with him and sold him some crack. I let him see all my rocks and he could pick which one he want because I knew him. My mom them knew him. I didn't even know it was him. But the homie that put me up on the block, he told me the game, and the cars were parked across the street. So I went across the street, made the sale, got in the car, in the back seat. I showed him all my rocks, everything like that. He said, yeah, he picked which one he wanted, everything. Gave me the money. I got out, right? So I went back over my grandmother's house, and for the weekend, because my dad had custody. So my dad had weekend custody. I stayed with my mom all the week, Monday through Friday. So that was the hood, you know what I'm saying? But on the weekend, I would have to go over my grandmother's house because my dad had custody, right? So when I went, I must have made that sale maybe on a Thursday or on a Friday afternoon, maybe on a Wednesday or between Wednesday and Friday. But by the time I got back home from going to my grandmother's house, my mom done tore up my room looking for drugs. And she asked me, do you do drugs? Do you do cocaine or crack? I'm like, Mom, no, I don't do no drugs. No, I don't do no crack. I'm laughing it off, right? But I'm not thinking why she's asking me this and why she's tearing up my room. Because I sold it to one of them old school neighbors of hers, and he gonna go tell my mom I'm selling crack or something. Then my mom's other friend knew, named Teresa, you know what I'm saying? She seen me out there in the morning time. I'm trying to get sales, but I'm supposed to be at school. But I skipped school, trying to get on the block and right in, by the corner store. In that case, in the corner store. And I got my crack around the alley in the back of the bodega or the corner store in the little brick, them holes. Remember them holes used to be in the brick walls? So I done stuffed my crack in those little holes. And then I'll go around, if I get a sale, I'm going to go around to the alley and make the sale like that. I ain't going to have it on me. You know what I'm saying? And stand in front of the store. So I'm just waiting for sales. So that day, my mom's friend saw me and she was like, well, I know what you out here doing, because I was by myself. I was standing out there by myself. She was like, well, I know what you're doing out here. I know why you're out here. But it was just like, that's the way she was trying to correct me and everything. She ain't say nothing else like that. She ain't tell my mom. I don't think she told. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I slowed down. You know what I'm saying? From my mom's friend snitching me out, man. That's how I stopped, really. I slowed all the way down from that. And then what was the last? I still brought crack to sell after that, though. But when my cousin stole some crack from me, that was it. He stole all my crack. Not the same cousin now that's stealing all that other stuff. Not him. Another cousin done stole all my crack. And when he got locked up, when he got out, I was like, look, man, he got to make his face right. When we say, that means you got to, we call it straighten your face. You got to straighten your face. You mean, that means you got to make it right. In the South, we call it straighten your face. I was like, hey, he got to straighten his face. You know what I'm saying? Because he stole some crack from me. I ain't forget that. He stole some crack from me and went to the pen for robbing a lot of people and shooting people and everything like that. So he was like, he kind of laughed it off, like, man. But see, that's why I'm always be kind of like, how I put this? I'm always get his respect because of that. Because he stole crack from me. You know what I'm saying? And but after that, you know, after that crack was stolen, that was just it for me. That was it. He stole some crack and it was over. I ain't try to buy no more. I still try to get guns. I still always try to. My mind is always on that, you know. But as far as crack, not. So I like to tell people, just based on my stories, you know, it's nothing. To me, there's no such thing as petty. There's no such thing as petty. It's on principle. Now, white folks will tell you this. White folks, they classify stuff because they cops. Okay, and among us, anybody that steps on the block and makes sales, you got your feet wet. That's how I put it. You know what it is to make a crack transaction. Ain't nothing petty about that. You can them felonies. Cocaine is a felony drug. I mean, you know. And you know, if you out there hustling, you gonna catch a little felony, buddy. Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna be no misdemeanor. No. So as anything that's a felony crime in nature, which is selling crack cocaine, that ain't gonna never be petty. Unless you carry yourself as a petty person. But if you out there with crack cocaine, that ain't never petty. Yeah, you get caught with some crack in North Carolina in the 90s. They not looking at that as petty. Especially in North Carolina. So, you know, I always felt dirty when I had crack on me. I didn't care. I got comfortable with weed. But when I got crack on me, I feel different type of energy. I don't know if I'm the only one, but if I got crack on me, I feel antsy. I'm more, I feel dirty. Like I'm really dirty. You know what I'm saying? Weed, I ain't never felt, man, I sit up in the cop's face with weed in my pocket. You know, maybe because I smoked a lot, but, you know, with crack, it's a whole different energy to me. A whole different energy. So for me, I got my feet wet enough to know what it is to make a transaction, what it is to cut up crack, and all of that, and everything. So that's how I put it. I got my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but have I ever put somebody in jail? No. So we don't play Bart Simpson games over here. A snitch is somebody that put somebody in jail. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never put nobody in jail and you done grew up as a man and you use the police for certain reasons, that's manhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I grew up to where I don't tell on drug dealers, but if you a nut and you crazy, you think you're real, you need to get off the streets. If you're a crazy person tearing up stores and bodegas and you just a Bart Simpson type of character, you need to go to jail and get scared straight. You need to get corrected because you in the way out here in the streets. You making other people mess up their reputation because you a lame. Because you can't be a man, you can't be a street person and be mano a mano in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, it's out here in the streets. It ain't no people that jump people. That's not mano a mano. So if you don't stick by codes, why should I look at you as a person to stick codes by? If that makes sense. You're a delinquent. You're a knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've never put nobody in jail. I could have put somebody in jail. But I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't play the street nerd Bart Simpson games with the streets. I already proved, who I am. I could have put people in jail. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you look at. Especially the person. Oh, okay, I could have put you in jail, but I didn't. I could have pressed my way and put you in jail. Now, if you want to still talk about it like it happened and it didn't, that makes you the sucker. When I could have put you in jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. So when you can find me to put somebody in jail, then you can call me a snitch. But you ain't gonna never see me put nobody in jail. You ain't gonna see that. So that's why I stay away from culture people, because they think they know the streets. You know what I'm saying? And they don't. They learned internet stuff, but it's certain stuff you can't learn from the internet. And a lot of people know that. It's certain stuff you can't learn. You just can't learn it. You gotta kind of know it. It's kind of principles. You gotta live long enough to know it. You gotta live through it. And so if you come out here heavy-handed thinking that's what these young dudes gonna do, and you're gonna get smashed. You know what I'm saying? Like now, all these little secret society people, all they did was get a whole bunch of street people. They recruited a whole bunch of street people. I'm smart, ain't I? That ain't gonna mean nothing. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is above the streets. The streets gonna bow down to this, and that's why you hate it. Because when you go back to the real street dudes that didn't go to these secret societies, they gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you. If you ain't got no charges on this dude and you keep playing with this dude, you deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? Nah, because you played all these games and you made it personal and you knew it was repercussions and you seen what was happening, and when you seen what was happening, you should have backed up off this person. Because even the streets know when I lost. Okay, if you lost, you lost. You can't play chicken with the community. Well, I'm gonna keep coming at him. Okay. Nobody plays by those rules, and it don't make you harder. It don't make you darker than us. It make you retarded than us. It's retarded. Everybody got to know when to fold. You are no exception. And they think they being hard for being persistent. You're not, because you're in war. And if you don't know what you're doing in war and you try to be persistent, you're gonna fall, buddy. That's it. And see, that you can't teach on the internet, because they're not teaching that on the internet. I'm probably the only one talking like this on the internet. I mean, because even among real dudes, they ain't giving the game to these people. You need to. All these OGs and dudes on these podcasts, bro. Y'all need to give these lame niggas the game. Show them. I know y'all know, because you done been through issues with other people, so you done broke down principles, game, and all that. But do it on these podcasts. Do it on these podcasts so these lames know, listen, you ain't no part of this. See, they gonna keep thinking they part of this as long as they get high, they drink, they party, they gonna think they like you. And you gotta show them, you gotta differentiate it by principles and regulations and rules and regulations on the streets. That's how you gonna get them suckers knowing they ain't got no part of that. They ain't a part. How they gonna play that part? With the rules and regulations, they ain't gonna, no. That's how you separate them from the streets. That's how you separate lanes from the streets. You talk principles, rules, and regulations. As long as you talk the paraphernalia of getting high, smoking around, riding around, they gonna talk about that. Because the music talking about it. Now, when you start talking about rules and regulations in politics, street politics, you lose them. It goes over their head. They just wait for other stuff to be said that they can relate to. But see, for street people, they love this part. This the meat. This the meat of the whole factors. You know what I'm saying? We like talking about the politics and the rules and regulations, because we weed out the fake people. And we sharpen ourselves in our own personal life with what we hearing. You know what I'm saying? We think about our own personal life and stuff, So, that's why I don't base who's real no more on gunplay and drugs and paraphernalia and getting drunk and high and all of that. And where they at and what places. They're going to go to all the same places where real ones go. They're going to try to be in the same place. I already know they're doing that. But they ain't got no rules and regulations. See, these days you figure it out by rules and regulations. Listen to a person. Listen to him. Listen to what he's talking about. That's a fake person. How do you know? Because he ain't got no rules and regulations, which means he ain't been through no drama. He ain't been through no situations. He ain't seen nothing go on. Because if you do, now you gotta think. You gotta put your mind in action. You gotta think about what's wrong and right in this situation in the streets that happen, stuff that happened. Okay, what's wrong and right about it? Who's wrong and who's right? Two street people, two street parties or street sets or whatever. Now who's right and wrong, right? Both are real, but who's right and wrong? They ain't doing none of that politicking. They ain't doing none of that. Because then when you start doing that, now you're going to the adult level to the streets where you can talk about it intelligently, rules and regulations in the street politics. If you can't do that, you on the baby level, getting high, still running around and stuff. That's the babies. We talking about grown men and women out here in these streets. And if you ain't talking no rules and regulations, I ain't even trying. I don't go by nothing else. Because everybody got money. They gonna play that position. They gonna pull up with money, a car, weed, trying to show like that. Nothing. I'm gonna go by rules and regulations. That's something they can't duplicate. That's something they can't fake. You either got it or you don't. And it ain't gonna open up until you go through real drama. That part of you ain't gonna open up until you go through real drama. You go through something in the streets, you go through something with other people. Your people go through something. That's the only way you're gonna open up that next level and level up. You're gonna have to go through something. And if you ain't, and you just a suburban kid smoking weed and drinking, you shouldn't have played with the streets. You shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't sympathize with you. Not at all. Just like that, nobody ever did. Nobody never sympathized with these people that come out here, and then at the end of the day, you ain't have what it take to stay out here. No, I don't sympathize with it at all. Nope. Shouldn't have came out here. It's how it is. It's a cautionary tale. I went through the streets. There's some people that get more street cred later on in life. I built more street cred. That's what you didn't pay attention to. I came out here to New York. I built on my street cred that I had back in North Carolina. I built on more of it. Some people pick it up and build back up on it. Not just the stuff you did from a kid up until being an adult, and then that story right there. Some people pick it up and build more street cred, but you wasn't paying attention. But I'm out here in the streets. I'm out here politicking. I'm out here getting new stories. I'm out here getting new reputation. So I ain't building more street cred. And see, that's why I speak as I do now. Because now I done built on more street cred, and you wasn't paying attention. That's all I'm saying. See, now I'm active in a different way. I'm active as God's messenger, and I'm still getting street cred. You didn't look at it because you were lame. You ain't look at it that way. These other people, the real ones gonna say, well, yeah, that's right. All he done been through, all you did was help me build on my street cred. That's all. And keep in mind, I ain't bragging about it, I ain't condoning it, but I done got weapon charges and everything in here in New York. You can go ask the cops. Cops pulling weapons off of me, I'm getting arrested. More than one time. I'm running from the last time I ran from the police and threw my weapons, and that's how I got away. I would have been locked up last year. And whatever it is, and whatever it is, it's never gonna be petty. It's on principle. The cops done locked you up for a weapon? Okay, that's on principle. Go ask the cops about me, buddy. That's all you gotta do. Go ask NYPD. Weapon charge. That's all I'm saying. You can't fake that. And see, that's street cred too, without trying. Without trying. I'm not doing it for that reason. But I ain't gonna be slipping. If people pose a threat to me, listen, man, I'm not gonna be slipping. I don't care if I do get arrested. I didn't care. I was tipsy with it. That's how I got arrested. I'm walking around tipsy with weapons. Drinking liquor and tipsy with weapons. That's how it happened. People, how you slipping like that? Halfway tipsy, drinking liquor. Get a little loose, you know what I'm saying? Nah, that's the truth though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I can say, I'm proud to say I ain't been arrested in 3 years. Just now 3 years. Like I said, I could have got arrested last year, but I ran. You know what I'm saying? I ran, threw my weapons off of me, and the police that was chasing me, He was confused because when I went up the block, back up on the boulevard, from off the boulevard, from back up on the boulevard, I had a tablet in my hand. I was playing with the tablet, so he was confused. He was stir crazy, mind boggled, and he didn't even ask me nothing. I can't make this up. I went right past him. He stopped on the block. He seen me. He seen I had a tablet in my hand, and he probably thought that's what it was. And he didn't want to harass me after that. You know what I'm saying? He seen I had that in my hand. Man, can't win there. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. So I could have been arrested last year. You know what I'm saying? I was around this dude that went to school with 50 Cent, right? This dude went to school with 50. This is a true story. This dude, me and him was in like one of these emergency houses in together. So this dude seen me beat somebody down in the middle of the night. Me and him drinking a fifth together. Me by myself. I beat this dude down. Probably the best fight of my life. Because this dude put hands on me for no reason. I gave it to him. I was already hyped on vodka. We were drinking a fifth. I drank liquor. Right? And this dude didn't know we was tipsy. Like, we was already halfway through a fifth. But we were just coming out to get cigarettes, right? So, on my way back, we was walking this dude to the bus stop. I mean, the train station or whatever. He didn't know where he was at or whatever. I think he was from Harlem or something. So, he felt like we was going to rob him. Because this dude that I was with was like 6'2", 6'3", big dude. Probably like about 210, 210 pounds, something like that. Solid, big, tall dude. I walk with big dudes. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, my dude that I was with was already trying to, like, he was halfway tipsy like I was. We both were tipsy. So he trying to get money off of him. He like, yeah, man, we need a little money because to take us, because you helping us, because we helping you. Then I chimed in like, yeah, you know. So he felt like we was gonna rob him. And the dude I was with, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We probably was gonna, you know what I'm saying? But so he punched me in my stomach to throw it off. I said, oh, and I'm drunk. All I remember, man, I punched him. He punched me in my stomach one time. I hit him. He started walking off. I hit him. Bah. Boom. Boom. All the way into the street. Boom. One hand the whole time, just one hand. I got over top of him. Boom. 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 I'm like, I still got a mark on my hand right now. I beat him so good, the dude that went to school with 50 was sitting back on the block watching. He said, man, is that necessary? This dude's supposed to be with me. Me and him drinking together. He like, yo, is that necessary, man? Then I stopped. I walked away. I walked away like a crime. You know what I'm saying? In crime time, I'm just walking away, headed up the block, getting to safety, getting out the way. So when I went back, lo and behold, the dude I was with, he done came back up. He like, yo, man, I like how you did that, man. That turned me on, man. You messed that dude up. All black people are like that when they see me. Yo, man, that turned me on, how you did that, dude. I done been in California to say the same thing. Yo, I like how you handle that. Same kind of talk. So he was like, man, you know what? Let's go back and rob that dude. I knew that's what he wanted to do. He was like, come on, let's go rob him. I said, all right, let's go get the weapons. So I went back and got the weapons. I had a duffel bag of weapons. We went back looking for the dude to rob him, like 2 pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? I'm not proud of this, but this is what happened. So we went back looking for him to rob him after I done beat him up. And I'm with this dude he's playing no games. This dude, he did smoke crack cocaine. This dude was actively smoking crack, and he drinking like vodka. Big old dude, he was not playing. So me and him, usually how it is for me, you know, if somebody's with it, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, let's go rob this dude. I'm like, all right. So we went out there looking for him. We couldn't find him. So after we couldn't find him, he was like, yo, let's go rob somebody else. I'm like, all right, yeah. So me and him get on the bus to go rob some other people. So I'm following him. I don't know where I'm at. We tipsy, mind you. We had already been drinking like a fifth, right? So we going out to look for people to rob. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is how I'm built. That's why I trip off people that, say, oh, you're not built like, well, you don't really know my past. You don't really know how, this is in New York. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know me, so, but I'm glad you don't think I'm a bad person. I'm glad you don't think that. But, I can be very dark if I have to be, or when the occasion calls for it, in the past. So me and him going out to rob people. So we get off the bus. Mind you, I already done beat this dude up. He already know what I'm made of. We already done looked for this dude like 2 pit bulls and we couldn't find him. So now we looking for somebody else to rob. You know what I'm saying? We got weapons and everything. We drunk and everything. So it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, we get off the bus. And this woman, I cannot make this up. Mind you, all this stuff done already happened. This woman like, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm like, what? We already ready. Got weapons, tipsy, everything. So I'm like, yo, man, like you don't know who you playing with like that. I'm yelling at her across the street. She's yelling at me. I don't know if that was an angel or what. Cause if that had not happened, we would have went out robbing people. And I don't know what we would have done that night. I don't know if we would have killed somebody that night. I don't know. You never know. But that woman, when I got off the bus, she started arguing with me. And the dude was sitting back watching. He already know what I'm made of. I done beat somebody up in front of the dude. He already see what. He ain't helped me or nothing. Not one time. No way. One way. He sat back and watched me beat this dude up, right? At nighttime, like 12 o'clock at night. Nobody was out there. No interruptions. You either can fight or you can't. And if you put your hands on me, listen, hey. I'm the bully. You put your hands on me. So anyway, man. So, she started yelling at me or whatever. I'm like, man, she don't even know what kind of dudes we are, man. She really don't. And so we already amped up. So I'm like, yeah, I'm talking junk to her. The police came and she waved them down like a taxi. Waved them down, but waving her hand. Police, she sick the police. Oh yeah, he's saying nah. They went like a cartoon. They went right across the street and threw us up against the wall, man. Jackpot. I had a whole duffel bag of weapons. Police loving that. But I was tipsy. I'm like, he was like, well, I said, what? So the dude I was with was a big dude, mind you. I'm worried about him because if he resists, the police is crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's a big dude. He's kind of resisting because he's a little tipsy or whatever. He's kind of resisting. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at him while they got me with my hands behind my back. I'm like, yo, chill, man, chill. They like, you know how you got the gates down on the bodegas? He's like rattling the gates on the bodega and everything like that. It's making a whole bunch of noise. I'm like, yo, chill, man. Like that. So he stopped resisting because he a big dude. They gonna be more aggressive with him. So I'm looking and worried about him. And so for me, even when I'm tipsy, I can do stuff. I don't lose my mind when I'm tipsy. Nah, not on the average situation. So we tipsy and everything. I done beat somebody up and the police done came. And mind you, it's like 1 o'clock, 1:40ish, and it's late. Police done seen me open up the bag with the weapons. Boom, I'm going to jail. They let him go. And so my charge was menacing with knives. Menacing. So I'm talking junk. I'm tipsy. Remind you, I'm tipsy. So I'm talking to these police, talking junk to these police and everything. I'm like, I'm in there by myself. There's nobody else in there. So I'm like, man, what you talking about menacing with knives, man? I ain't the woman that's across the street. How I'm menacing her with knives? Police is like, okay, we get it. So that's my story, man. I went through. That's the last time. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the last times. No, that wasn't the very last time, but that's one of the last times I got arrested. You know, probably one of the best fights in my life. But I didn't get arrested for the fight. I went through the bookings. My hand swelled up the next day. My hand was so messed up, bro. I thought my stuff was broken. The police even thought it could have been broken if I would have kept punching this person. But I didn't get arrested. They took me to the hospital. I was like, yo, I got to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital from the bookings. Went to the hospital. The police took me to the hospital and was waiting for me to be seen and everything. And they x-rayed my hand and wasn't nothing wrong with my hand. So then I went back to the bookings to see the judge and everything like that. And I wound up getting up out of there like 12 o'clock at night and everything. Then that was the end. And then I just had to let the charge fall off. Because, you know, they give you a ticket. If that ticket fall off, and you stay clean for like 4 months, then the charge fall off if you don't come back in there. So then that's a good method because you're going to stay clean. You ain't going to get in no trouble. And I always did that. Anytime they gave me a little ticket, you know what I'm saying, and they tell me to stay out of, you know, don't know crimes for 4 months, I'm like, okay, good. And I let it fall off. It falls off. I talked to my attorney. It's gone. It got thrown out. Boom. Because the woman was trying to press charges. Something like that. Yeah. But it got dismissed and everything. It got thrown out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's what made it a little more serious because this woman was saying all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? She was some random person walking down. That's how you know she crazy because she was out there at night talking to 2 black guys. Like, this dude was big. He was like 6'3", 6'2". I ain't nothing to sneeze at. And I don't see how this woman is talking to 2 black guys in the middle of the night. She got to be crazy. She was on some drugs or something. I bet she was. I bet she was on pills, drugs, or something. Because how she talking to 2 black men in the middle of the night yelling across the street, and we got weapons on top of that. That's what I'm saying. We the wrong black guys to play with. And we drunk on top of that. That's probably why I was saying something to her. Because any other time, I probably, what's she talking about? Man, I was drunk already, man. I ain't care nothing about it. So I went to jail and got that off of me. You know what I'm saying? Last time I could have been arrested was last year when I threw the weapons off of me. The police seen it on me. So I was on the medium in between the road, and then he swooped around and came back around and got to the light, but he was braking. I seen the brake lights keep braking. I'm like, oh, he want to get out. Like, I be watching my surroundings. People don't think I do, but it's just a certain art to it. I don't turn my head and look everywhere like that and make you know but I'm paying attention. So I'm seeing this dude braking. I'm seeing the police braking. I'm like, oh, I'm finna run across the street because I know what he want. I know he's seen them weapons on me. So I'm like, I'm gonna run across this street and go down the block and throw it down the block. So as soon as I ran, boom, he mashed on the gas. Woo, he knew what I was doing. But it was a Jedi mind trick because he didn't know if I was running across the street because of the traffic. Mind you, I'm on the medium in the street. So I'm not just running out of nowhere, I'm running across the street. So he didn't know if I was just running across the street, right? So I ran across the street, he hit a Yui, and by the time he hit the Yui, I went through the block, threw it on the other side of the street, came back up the block. By that time, he was right there. But I had a tablet in my hand and I was walking. And I played it so cool, he didn't even say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not proud of that. I keep my weapons for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? I don't advise you to do the same thing I do because it's an art to it. God knows the situations I'm in. You know what I'm saying? You'll say, well, we supposed to obey the laws of the land. But if we in wartime, we in wartime. And if they the crooked people, the people that make the laws, how you think God gonna make me obey their laws? Think about it. See, some people are so smart and legalistic, they stupid. I'm in wartime. I'm going through gang stalking. That's obvious. You know what I'm saying? All these people playing with me and telling other people stuff too. That's obvious. So I don't know who they telling. And I don't know who might approach me because of the stuff they telling. So I got to keep my weapons on me. You know what I'm saying? But I do it with discretion. You know what I'm saying? I don't be out here like, you know, every year I get better. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as brazen as I used to be. You know what I'm saying? You know, with my weapons or whatever. Now, I remember one time, I was walking down the street with it in my hand, right in front of the police. She didn't even say nothing to me. That's how mad I was. I was walking down the street with it in my hand. She didn't even say nothing. I promise you, I am not lying. She didn't say nothing. I think because she couldn't believe it. That's why I didn't even care. But she wound up respecting me, though. She wound up respecting me because she seen I was 100, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the that's the best person to form the opinion of me, because she stayed in that neighborhood and she still spoke to me after that. Because she knew I was 100, man. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't crazy. I wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I had it out because I was mad. You know what I'm saying? But I walked right past her and I didn't care. But after that, man, she kept speaking to me. This lady kept speaking to me. You know what I'm saying? She was kind of like the patrol in the morning. You know what I'm saying? One of them type of women. You know, and she was a good looking woman. You know, but Latino woman, good looking woman, but she wound up respecting me and speaking to me, man, out of respect, man, because people seen what was going on, and it's not just them, it's who they talking to. That's my thing. You know, I don't know who they talking to and telling stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who approached me based on what stuff they talk about. And so, I'm gonna get my gun license and all of that. Yes, sir. You know, down in Florida, they just made open carry. That's enticing right there. Now people can walk around with it on them openly. Because people need to see it. They need to see you a sucker. Listen, I'm not going to play with you. This is what I do. They need to see it. They do need to see it. Because that's going to keep certain lames at bay. They ain't going to try you and they see you got it on you. You know what I'm saying? You know you ain't in that weight class. That's why I believe in getting weapons. Because it separates you from half of these people out here, man. You know what I'm saying? For whatever, if you don't have no weapons, they swear up and down they just like you. But they don't pay the price. They don't go out of their way to go get weapons like we do. We go out our way to get it. I don't care if it's a blade. I don't care what I carry. I heard a youngin say, shoot, if I was in New York, I'd throw my gun away and carry blades and stuff. But people think you petty for doing the same thing. I ain't getting locked up with these big gun charges, but at the same time, but it's just like, you got to know how to move, man. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Because my philosophy is, it ain't never petty if I can take your life with it. How it's petty when you can die? That's what's wrong with black folks. They ain't scared of nothing but a gun. But you can get your life taken with a pole. I can take a metal pole and hit you in your head and you dead. A real assassin will do that and he get less time. It ain't gonna be an assault with a deadly weapon. It ain't gonna be assault with a deadly weapon if it's a pipe. If I hit you in the head with a pipe hard as I can, you gonna die from trauma to the head, internal bleeding in your head. You can't withstand that. You can't withstand that. That's a steel pipe. A black person think you ain't a threat. You sitting right there with a steel pipe. If I hit you one time in your head, you gonna be so stunned. I'm gonna get to hit you again. And then once I hit you twice, it's over. I'm gonna keep hitting you and hitting you. You're gonna be dazed and you're gonna die. See, that's real assassin game right there. I kill you with anything. You always thinking about a gun. Well, there's a million ways to kill you. I can kill you with a piece of pole, and I can push you down the stairs and you break your neck. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. He pushed me. I pushed him, and you died. Okay, it's like so a lot of people don't know. Like, they don't have an assassin game. Am I a bad person? No, I'm a person that's a soldier. I turned to a soldier. You know what I'm saying? And if people think it's a game, you'll find out the hard way it's not. That's my response to foolishness. I'm going to become a soldier. I'm going to be ready to kill if I got to protect myself. And if you think it's a game, put it to the test. I'm going to be paying attention to everything I do and how I move. You're going to be goofy and you're going to die. That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with sin. It's not a sin. When you in war, see, I crossed over to war before the rest of you Christians did. You'll be like me if the Lord tarries in the next 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Once Trump get done tearing your head off, you know what I'm saying? Now you're going to be like me. I give about 2 more years. Watch. About 2 more years, you're going to be like me. Well, the prophet was right. You going to say it with a southern accent? The prophet was right. Yeah, the prophet was right. The prophet was right. Hey, man, listen. I try to tell you, man. You'll be like me. The prophet's already ahead of everybody. It sounds absurd now, right? That part. Until you see all the stuff that happens and how these people are, and then what you gonna do? You gonna carry your weapons? I guarantee you are. I ain't playing no games with nobody, bro. No, sir. And see, when somebody's talking like that to protect themselves, they more dangerous than somebody else because they might be carrying it for the wrong reasons. Just to be tough and all of that, and the flex and all of that. Just to, to be in vogue with what everybody else doing. It's in vogue on the streets too. It's in vogue to have a gun. You know what I'm saying? So, that's in vogue always on the streets, especially in the hood. It's in vogue to have heat on you. You know what I'm saying? Just to have it on you. You want to be in vogue with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You sitting around smoking and, everybody got guns on you. You want one on you. That's what's going to happen, especially if you smoking and drinking. You chilling with everybody. Everybody got guns. What you going to do? You going to want one too. That's it. That's what's going to happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to arm myself to protect myself. That's all I'm saying. And you know what? The police ain't got no problem with that. If you don't know, have a straight shot, no pun intended. Have a straight shot conversation about being armed in America with the police. Guarantee you they ain't gonna buck it. I guarantee you they ain't gonna say it's wrong. No, they ain't. You need to carry weapons. They just want you. They gonna say they just want you to go about it the right way. That's what they gonna say. That's all they gonna say. But ain't no way in the world they can act like you should be around here docile and unarmed. So then putting two together, really the nature of carrying guns or weapons is not really wrong. In the context of protecting yourself, it's not wrong. It's not evil. It's not an evil concept. To arm yourself, to protect yourself, that's not an evil concept. Some people take it to the extreme. It don't have to be to the extreme. You trying to protect yourself. The future, you don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy people everywhere. That's how I look at it. That's what I'm looking at. All these crazy folks. That's real. All these crazy folks around here, nah, I'm cool. I got to have me something. I feel way better knowing I can protect myself. And that's that. That tells you the psychology behind it. I feel way better knowing in close quarters if I need to protect myself, I can. That's real. Against the biggest dudes, I got something right. I got something right for you. And with that being said, I feel better and I feel more comfortable as a result. And that's how it is. You're going to feel more comfortable if you got something to protect yourself. Yeah. Now, like I said, you got these the seven generations. You got the 7 generations that's most important in America, right? And like I said, the baby boomers is the ones that messed up everything. They messed up everything. As far as the black people, our generations, the silent generation was Malcolm X and MLK generation, right? The baby boomers were supposed to be the students of that information. They were supposed to then therefore teach my generation that same information. And it was supposed to go on and on. And we were supposed to advance that movement, those movements, especially Malcolm X movement. MLK movement was ideals, like a politician. A more realistic revolution was Malcolm X. His was realistic. MLK was, I have a dream that we all can be together, and we can't all be together. Because we have different worldviews, we have different perspectives, and we ain't gonna all compromise to come together. And that's even among black people. Malcolm X didn't teach that we all can come together. His teachings reflect that all Negroes or black people are not profitable for our movements. You got house Negroes and you got field Negroes. A house Negro is in the field right now. In the field Negro in 2025 is in the house. He out the way because he already know what's going on out here. All the gang stalking, all the crazy stuff. The field Negro is in the house. Ironically, in 2025, he in the house. He ain't out here in the field. So if you think you're out here in the field, that make you a field Negro. Nah. The house Negro is in the field because what makes a house Negro and a field Negro? Agenda. Whatever agenda you on. If you on the white man's agenda, if you on that white man's agenda, you are a field nigga. A house nigga. A house Negro is for the American agenda. Just like the house Negro in the slavery times, he was about his slave master's agenda. Whatever was going on in that slave house, he was on the agenda of what that man wanted to do. That white man. So the house Negro was doing what the white man wanted him to do. He was on his agenda. Today, you are a house Negro if you are on the white man's agenda of destroying the community, destroying black people with drugs, and drug dealers are house niggas to a certain degree because you are on the white man's agenda. Maybe not directly, but indirectly. You on the white man's agenda, so how you ain't a house nigga when you serve his agenda? A field nigga is not on the agenda of the white Americans or the Americans. That's the field nigga. He ain't got nothing to do with this American stuff. If you a field nigga, how you got something to do with America right now? How you on his agenda? No, you not. You a house nigga. If you got anything to do with their agenda, you are a house nigga. That's what it is. And the field nigga is in the house out the way. He ain't got nothing to do with all that stuff going on out there. He ain't hurting black people. He ain't selling drugs. It's better for you to be broke and be a field nigga than to be a rich house nigga. It's better to be broke. Especially today. Get your soul right. Get your soul right. Lay down. Get something to eat and lay down with your woman. You know what I'm saying? And learn to enjoy the simple things in life. It ain't all about money all the time. Learn to enjoy the simple things. Like the care of a woman. And if you got a woman, don't have no kids until after this Trump administration. If you planning a family, now is not the time. Wait until the Trump administration passes. You don't need to be having no kids right now. You don't know what the future gonna hold. It's cruel. It's cruel to have kids right now. It's inconsiderate and selfish. Now, if you had a kid in a moment of passion, hey, I'm a man, I know. Come on, okay. No, but planning a family, don't plan a family right now. Because you got to see what's going on with this present Trump administration. You feel me? We ain't even, they blowing up boats and it's not even a whole year yet. Wait until this Trump administration is over to have children. You don't know what you're bringing these children into. You don't know. It's cruel and selfish of you to bring a child into this situation. You don't know what's going to happen. Wait till the Trump administration is over. I ain't having no kids till the Trump administration is over. Nope, sure not. Sure is not. And then don't know what you're going to get on the health care and all that stuff too. Don't know how that's going, and then food stamps and all of that, man. Look at that. Sure, I ain't having no kids until after Trump. I ain't saying I might not have no more kids, but I ain't having no more kids till after Trump. Something to think about. I ain't having no more kids till after Trump is out of office. That's real. It's cruel, man. Think about it. You don't know what's gonna happen. You doing all that stuff with the blowing up stuff, blowing up boats. He already done changed, man. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna get in office, and then Trump is the type of person, if you pay close attention, he could just change and not answer nobody. What I think is he might change on a whole nother level and just turn his back and like he ain't gotta tell us nothing no more. Like, you see how he is now. I think he can get worse. Like, I ain't telling them nothing. I don't care what they think. Well, we stop seeing him. We don't even see him in public no more. He's just gonna be doing stuff. We don't even see him no more. You don't think he can get to that level? I do. When we don't even see him in public. Trump doing this, Trump doing, we don't see no pictures of him, we don't see nothing. We don't even see him no more. Not like openly, like, you know, going and talking to the press. I mean, you know, maybe a little bit to the press, but I don't know, man. See, Trump, what you sleeping on is how Trump got the whole setup where he can be mobile. He can mobilize his own type of militia. Trump, MAGA is like a militia. It is. Them are armed men. They give her that what's that woman, Marjorie? They give her death threats. If they give her death threats, they won't give you one. She was part of MAGA. She just left. That's it. She got death threats for leaving. She got death threats for basically leaving. Well, I mean, everybody seen she was leaving, so what difference does it make what she talking about? She leaving, ain't she? Well, yeah. Okay. But I'm already fasting against MAGA. Oh, come on, man. You didn't think I would cover my bases? You don't think I see them crazy white people? Well, that's basically what it is. I'm not slipping, bro. I promise you I'm not slipping. I'm going to show y'all I'm not slipping. Everything you've thought about and everything you worried about, I'm already fasting against all these people. Stuff you ain't even think about. CIA, FBI, I'm already fasting. The jackals, you don't even know what jackals are. They work for the government, go into communities and corrupt certain leaders and do certain things. And I'm fasting against jackals. Every governor, every mayor. Huh? Every governor and mayor. The military. I've been fasting against the military, the whole thing. I've been fasting against the whole military. Every branch. I'm not playing no games, bro. Now the military is the smallest it's been in since the I think what, 70 years or something like that. They ain't telling you that. The military ain't even big like it used to be. I done fast against it. I done cursed it. I'm not playing no. I'm not. Listen. As soon as I perceived that stuff out there, I went against all this stuff. You should have knew that. Police. I've been fasting against police for years. For 6 years. I've I've been working against the police for 6 years. So what I don't got covered? It's all covered, buddy. It's all the way live. It's all the way live, buddy. I'm serious. It's working too. See, usually I have to wait about 4 years for it to kick in. See, listen, man. I'm in it for the long haul, buddy. Like a relationship, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in this for the long haul, buddy. Listen, it kick in about 4 years. Most of them fasts that I got, I started fasting against something or someone about 4 years. People done died and everything. I'm not bragging. This is not no satanic form of religion. It's war. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no other way to look at it. As soon as you start looking at it some other way, that's when you're going to demonize it. It is war. That's what it is. When you put it in that context, there's no room to demonize it. They got the war they wanted. Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. You wanted war, now you got it, buddy. Then your parents tell you, don't be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Now you got it. You got what you asked for. You asked for war and you got it now. That's what you got. And it ain't nobody's fault but yours. That's why you look so stupid. You played with somebody that was minding his business. You kept playing. Okay, boom. You want war, you got it. Now you got it. It's that simple. If you think I'm some little kid behind a video, man, I've been in this war for over 6 years, man. What you talking about? Going on 7 years. I've been at war by myself against these people for almost 7 years now. Okay? So it's just like, man, look, man. All this stuff they got going on out there, we don't even care about it. You know why I don't care about it? Because I'm against them too. I'm fighting them too. They ain't doing nothing to me. But I'm doing something to them. That's what I'm saying. So you don't got to feel sorry for me, buddy. I'm tearing them apart. It's all the way live. It's all the way live, buddy. We don't care nothing about that because at the end of the day, them sirens ain't going to mean nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. I'm listening, man, come on, man. That's trying me like I'm Bart Simpson. I'm a real spiritual militant. I'm a real militant, man. You ain't going to bother me with no sirens trying to trigger me psychologically. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's the best you got? We tearing this whole community apart, buddy. It's all the way live. Trump is destroying the reputation of America at the speed of light. Working down there in the Caribbean, destroying the community all the way up, tearing it up. He creating enemies and invading, possibly invading Venezuela. Man, listen, man. It's all the way live, man. That's what we talking about, bro. When you know the rest of the Caribbean islands hate Trump. What you think Barbados and Jamaica and the Virgin Islands, what you think they thinking? As communities, it's ridiculous. They gonna sit back and think the same way. I mean, how can you explain what's on them boats? You should, like I said on the other video, you should have explosion. You should hit the water beside the boat. This dude centers it. That's not a good marksman. I would off center it to get the evidence, and then right after that send the people to jump down there and get the evidence and present the evidence to the public. Okay, we had this much. This is a sample of this. This is a sample of that. This is the drugs. You can see all this stuff. Look at it. This is what it is. We gonna show you the footage where we went down there. You got the footage. Here's the drugs from the footage. Here it is. Here's the sample of the water that got the fentanyl. It got this water test positive for cocaine and fentanyl. Boom, here we go. That's all you gotta do. Now you legit. But until then, man, I mean, if you playing chess to play chess, you have to prove what you're talking about. You can't just say it. When you playing chess, here's the checkmate. Okay, here's the drugs. Here's the debris from the drugs. Here's the evidence. That's now I can say wholeheartedly before everybody. This was a drug boat. But with it being a big body of water and in the Caribbean, boats gonna pass through the Caribbean. Somebody already said it was like somebody that wasn't even a drug dealer. They already complaining about it. They already complained about that it was somebody that wasn't a drug dealer. Man, so look, man, this is how I see it, man. You cannot blow up boats without evidence. You can't blow up no boats without no evidence, man. Ain't nobody respecting that. It's on principle. It's on principle. You could even know, you could kind of be right. But the laws of the land is you gotta prove that. And then here's the best part. Being a drug dealer is not a death sentence. Okay, if you got tons of drugs, that don't mean you should die. No. And then, so that's why they had to hurry up and classify fentanyl as mass destruction, but because you can't technically say drugs is mass destruction. And y'all let them do that. Y'all let them do that. Now, if he comes before law, all he got to say, well, fentanyl is the weapon of mass destruction. So I killed them because fentanyl is mass destruction, a weapon of mass destruction. See how he did it? That's why he did it. Why else you think he did it? He did it so then he could justify blowing up the boats because that the fentanyl is now classified as a weapon of mass destruction. But it's still not used as a weapon. You can't weaponize it even if it's a drug. You can't say people are using it with the intent of weaponizing it. You still can't say that. That's still, if you making drugs transactions, even no matter how dangerous the drug is, you still can't say he was weaponizing it. You can't say it's a weapon. It's a drug. It's always gonna be a drug. You can't weaponize it unless you can prove that they're weaponizing it to kill people on purpose. You can't say that. You can't prove that. So how can you say it's a weapon? You have to prove it's being used as a weapon of mass destruction. But until then, it's just drugs. And drugs is not a death sentence. No, it's not. Selling drugs ain't no death sentence. See, Trump ain't nothing but a big old cop. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you. He ain't nothing but a big old cop. That's all he is. And that's how they think. If a cop had his way in America, these old racist cops, they'll do the same thing. They'll blow up boats without explanations. That's what a cop gonna do. That ain't gangster. That ain't what a thug gonna do. That's what a big old fat cop gonna do. Blow up boats without explanations. That's just like a cop. I can't stand him. Blowing up boats without explanations. That's what a cop gonna do. Let's look at it like this. Would you let them blow up a car and say it was a drug dealer selling drugs? Well, we blew up the car because he was about to sell drugs. That's not a death sentence. What's the difference? If he was transporting drugs in a car, or let's say a truck, like a tractor trailer truck, you gonna let Trump blow up trucks on land talking about they was drug dealers? You see how that resonates different, don't it? It hits different, don't it? What's the difference? It's transporting drugs. Well, on water is a little different than land. What's the difference? Land is different from water. In this case. So if it was the same amount of drugs in a truck, would you feel comfortable with Trump just blowing up a truck with people in it? And just saying, oh, he was transporting drugs. That's why we blew up the truck. He was on the road and we just blew him up. See, it resonates different. See, what got you is the water thing. It being on the water, that's the Jedi mind trick. Now bring it to land. Think about it on land. You gonna let somebody blow up a truck with drug dealers in it in America with the same amount of drugs. Listen, some of them boats wasn't that big, like speedboats. So let's just say a tractor, like a truck trailer full of drugs, right? That's about the equivalent, right? That's safe to say. Would you let Trump blow that up? Would you let America blow that up? You wouldn't, would you? I didn't think so, buddy. I didn't think so, buddy. See, it's the whole fact that it's down there in the Caribbean, and that's what Jedi mind tricked you. Down there in the water, in the Caribbean, the islands, that's what got you. That's what got you Jedi mind trick. Now bring it to land and see if it makes sense in land doing the same thing on land. That makes sense to you? Just blowing up a random truck. Oh, well, they had drugs. We blew it up. What you mean you blew it up? You blew up the people in the truck because they had drugs. No, you pulled it over. What Trump needed to do was to put patrol in the Caribbean. Bring control. Why not? Pull them over, stop the boats, block them off, and you got the people, and they stay in trial. And you got the drugs. And you got the proof of the drugs. How hard is that, buddy? You put people down in the water. You put boats in the water. You beat the boats in the water. It is that simple. If you're really trying to, I don't think you really care about the drugs. I think it's retaliation. I think it's deeper than the drugs. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I don't think this is about war on drugs. Nah, it's a little more to that. It's about Venezuela bringing all these people, these immigrants. That's what they mad about. And that's what Trump already talking about. That's where the animosity is coming from. Because you know what? It's a lot worse than they telling you. That's why they doing that. See, read between the lines. It's a lot worse than what they're telling you. That's what it is. It's a lot worse than what they're telling you. If they're doing all that, and Trump bringing up, that's one of the reasons to go do this kind of stuff, because Venezuela sent all these people here, all these people from South America, from Venezuela here. He said it was one of the reasons. I already knew it was, because he was talking about it before. They sending all the people from all the worst people. That's how he put it. They sending the worst people here. Remember, that's what he was talking about. He was talking about Venezuela then. Then he started blowing up the boats. You got a short attention span, don't you? You got a short attention span. Trump was talking about the boats he was talking about the people coming over here, the illegal migrants. He said they sending them here. He acting like they sending them here on purpose. Okay, so he said that's part of the reasons why he got a problem with Venezuela. That's all it's about. This whole situation is about the migrants, I'm telling you. It's more that than anything. That's why if you put it together with ICE and everything they do with ICE and the stuff they doing down there in the Caribbean, it's all together. It's all animosity towards the migrants. You didn't look at it that way, right? Who you think they blowing up on them boats? White people, white drug dealers, European drug dealers. You think them slick-haired European drug dealers? Pretty sure they're Latinos. I'm pretty sure they're Latino people. They love it. They love that. They love to kill them. You ain't putting it together like that. That between the migrants coming here and killing these white women, that's retaliation. You ain't looking at that, are you? I told you they gonna get you. Lakeland Riley, that white girl that got killed on the college campus. They want revenge for that white girl that got killed on the college campus. These illegal migrants come here raping the women and all of that, raping the little girls. They raped a little 13-year-old girl in Queens. You don't remember that? Man, that got downgraded so bad it ain't even funny. He raped her in front of her boyfriend. Man, that's humiliating. He made him watch. That's what they were saying. Their war is against Latinos. I'm telling you. That's what it is. Oh yeah. That's what it is. They don't care. They feel like they just getting all these people out of here. It ain't gonna work though. See, that's why we are close to getting chipped with some type of ID, because that's gonna weed out everybody else, and they just gonna hunt everybody else. Once they ID everybody, they can just hunt everybody else because they ain't got no ID. They ain't got no chip. They can just hunt the rest of the people. It makes it a lot easier. Think about it. You ain't got no chip? Okay, boom, you're arrested. Instead of going through anything, now it's more easier. I'll just look and see if you got the chip or you got an ID. Boom. That's how bad they hate them. They hate them like they hate us, black people. And I told you, I know how white people think. Once you started fighting, killing white people, white women. Once you start killing white women, they gonna get you. They got now. You see, one thing a black man gonna tell you: you can't kill no white women in America. No, look what they did to OJ. Why do you think OJ went through all of that? Because of Nicole Simpson, him killing Nicole Simpson. If you kill a white woman in America, they gonna get you. I'm telling you. And these Latinos gonna find out. You gonna mess around and find out, bro. They might come off as incompetent little white men at times, I know. But the forces that they wield is what's gonna get you. You gonna see these weak white boys sit back, but then other forces come after you. That's how it go. But you looking at the people that's in front of you on TV. But they gonna use all these other forces to attack you. Look how they doing me. It ain't working though. I'm built for it. Okay? But those who are not, woe to the person that ain't built for it. Okay? That's why I'm telling you, right now, it ain't no time to have no kids, bro. It's too much going on. You don't know you don't know what's gonna happen. Why have kids? Come on. You don't know what's gonna happen with the health care, all that. You know what I mean? You don't know what's gonna happen. The food stamps, all this stuff is in limbo. You don't know what's gonna happen. Just chill out for a bit. Chill out for 4 years. Just chill for 4 years. Chill for 4 years and stay low for 4 years. Stay out the way. You gotta weather this. The word for next year for the prophet is you gotta weather the Trump administration. I mean, well, yeah, that, but that part, right? But the word is weather. Just weather everything as to endure. You know, you gotta weather this Trump administration. You got to. You gotta weather it. You gotta weather it. And that just consists of staying low, taking care of your family, friends, just staying low, staying out the way. Don't even be out there. That's how I would be. I wouldn't even be out there. For what? It's ice out there and everything. And then if you like me, you part Latino, I'm part Latino. They might pull up on me because how I look. I'm for real. That's why I'm glad I'm walking around with a mask sometimes. Yeah, for real though. Because I got that look where I look part African Latino, you know, and they might think I'm illegal. And I carry weapons all the time. I can't be out there for that reason. They might think I'm I'm illegal. And I know you probably been thinking about it too. The way you look, if you look part Latino, they might think if you are part Latino, if you are part Latino, hey, what's stopping them from, pulling you over, so to speak? See this? This is based on face value. I knew they was gonna start violating people's rights, because how you gonna know this person is illegal? You gotta base it on how they look. You got to. Well, you gonna go look to white people to see if they're illegal? Come on now, come on. You gonna look to white people to see if they're illegal? Well, we thought you was illegal. A white person gonna say, do I look illegal? Well, is that a trick question? Hey, white people gonna speak up for themselves. I'm white. Oh, they'll say that. Oh, they won't. Do I look illegal? That's racist though, right? Do I look illegal? Do anybody look illegal? That's what I'm saying. And I knew this was gonna be a problem, because how are you gonna know if somebody's illegal, bro? How? You can't go by nothing. You can't go by, oh well, he don't kind of walk like the rest of us here. He can't look at his clothes. It look like he got clothes like a different country, like he's from a different country. So what? You still can't do nothing. See, this is about to hit the fan, bro. Because the only way you're gonna be able to catch illegal migrants is at checkpoints, what I call checkpoints. Checkpoints of healthcare and food and necessities. Okay? If people need food or any type of assistance, government assistance or medical assistance, that's the only way you can catch, or crimes, or doing crimes. Them the only checkpoints where you can catch illegal migrants. You can't just walk up to people. It's like that's all they doing. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. That's all you're doing. Meanwhile, you're breaking the constitutional rights of people that's born and raised here. And see, sooner it's all it's gonna take, man, is people to throw up their hands, and it's gonna be a war. That's all. That's all that's brewing right now, man. Cause see, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, it's no way you're gonna be able to catch all those migrants. I'm surprised they didn't get Biden, because Biden just sat back and let it happen. All the buses was coming into Port Authority, and Biden was doing nothing about it. Biden did nothing. He just let it come in. He's the main reason why it is the way it is. Them buses was coming in by literally more. How many a day? At least 5. 5 buses a day. Packed with migrants, because they knew they was trying to beat Trump into office. Read between the lines. They was getting over on pushover Biden. He's nothing but a pushover. And they was rushing here before Trump got in office, and in the cartoon fashion, they just got here and hey, we're gonna go away now. Trump is in office. They all disappeared. They dispersed when Trump came into office. That's common sense. That's why they so mad, because they seen the game. They just poured in, and when Trump got in office, they dispersed, and now you don't know where they at. You ain't gonna be able to catch all them people, man. That's common sense. If you realize how many came, it was at least 5 to 10 buses a day. You ain't gonna get 5 to 10 buses a day full of people coming in for weeks and weeks and months. 5, 10 buses a day for months? It's no way. You ain't gonna ever be able to get all them people, man. No, ain't no way, bro. And then they had kids. They did. Come on, they know that's over, man. Listen, you just have to accept that now there's people here that we don't know about. It's a whole nother level of society that we don't know. It's just what it is. Biden is the reason why it happened. The main reason. And presently, this last surge of illegal migrants It was Biden's fault. I'm surprised they didn't kill him. I'm surprised he didn't get assassinated. Because people didn't really know what was going on. They was too confused. I'm surprised. Nobody's exaggerating with saying he's one of the worst presidents. No one's exaggerating. I'm not saying to kill him. I'm not saying he should die. But I'm just surprised that people didn't look at it that way. It wouldn't have surprised me if they would have killed him. Because you first of all, not only that, 9/11, the response to 9/11 in Afghanistan, he pulled out the troops out of Afghanistan. Then the Taliban got back on top. The troops have been stationed over there. If I'm right, I think I'm right. They have the troops have been over there since 9/11, progressing. Afghanistan past the Taliban. When Joe Biden pulled them out, I don't see how he even got the military vote. And I didn't think he was going to get it. After he pulled out the troops that was stationed over there for 9/11, since 9/11, when he pulled them out, the Taliban, just like a cartoon, Taliban back on top. Taliban back on top after all that work. All that progress, all that, the people stationed over there, all going down the drain, bruh. All going down the drain. That was number one. And then the migrants. He just let them come in because the Democrats are pro-migrant. That's common sense. If Democrats are going to be more minority, right? Pro-minority. Okay, so you're going to deal with the issues of the minorities, right? Which is going to be migration. So therefore, you're going to be pro-migration. That's why he didn't do anything. If a Republican was in office, they would do something because they're not pro-migration. The Biden administration was pro-migrant. That's why New York was even handing out $1,000 on the card for these mothers, while New York mothers couldn't get no money. They was giving illegal migrants over $1,000, while New York mothers couldn't get the same lump sum of money for nothing. For a baby? No. No, you couldn't. Cash? No. That's what the animosity is about. New Yorkers is like, man, mothers can't even get that money for their kids. That's what the animosity is about. That's why some people voted for Trump, out of animosity for the Democratic Party. So they being pro-migrant, letting all this stuff happen. That's what it was. People turned on the illegal migrants. They did. How I see it is this. They doing stuff that black people wouldn't even do. We ain't gonna shoot no cops unless we got to. And if we shoot them, we're gonna shoot them good. Because if you don't, we gonna kill you. Huh? We ain't gonna halfway shoot no cop. Not a black man. If you feel like your life in danger and if you feel like you gotta defend yourself, you ain't gonna halfway shoot no cop and leave him halfway alive. I'm just saying. They halfway shooting cops and everything out here wrestling around. You remember in Times Square? They was wrestling around with cops. You can't wrestle no cop in America. He might get a gun and shoot you. for whatever reason, you might get shot trying to wrestle with a cop. They was wrestling cops and everything. The bottom line is the illegal migrants specifically are coming in doing stuff that we don't even do as black people. As criminals. We don't do none of that. Ain't cause we control. It's just you can't win doing that stuff. And see, that's what they looking at. Black people don't even do that kind of stuff. That's why they crack down. When they start seeing them trying to be hardcore like that, listen, you can't win with these white folks, I'm telling you. Why you think black people, we harder than everybody? Most, you know what I mean? Come on, man. If you don't see us doing stuff, come on. Read between the lines. Them white boys got a way of setting everybody down, bro. They'll sit you down. I'm telling you. If you ain't got God with you like I do, listen, they'll sit you down, buddy. Pay attention to these black dudes. They crush them. They crush these black dudes. And that's facts. And now you gonna see how it is. You know, you can't come here like y'all acting like it's the 90s. These illegal migrants come here like they gang banging and they thugging like it's the 90s. It ain't the 90s no more, bro. You can't come here like that. Your own people should have told you. Now the black man gotta tell you, you can't come here like that, bro. They'll shut you down. They'll make, how you need to hear it is they will crush your whole community because of what you're doing. You will make it hard for all these people. That's how far they'll go. You will make it hard for Hispanic and Latinos that built a reputation here in this country. So they have to choose between staying loyal to you or loyal to the people that's already here. They gonna throw away that reputation that they built this long, or to help you or be loyal to you to come in, or they gonna be loyal to people that's already here and make you go about migration the right way. They gotta do that. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, if I try to help you, but then, you know, I'm not looking at the reputation we built in this country. It's gonna go down the drain trying to help you or trying to voucher for you. Then we ain't gonna have nothing. And that's how it works. New York, America will once they have it out for you, they make everyone suffer. They will not care about, in other words, they will not care about no Hispanic Latinos. I'm telling you. I'm from North Carolina. I know how these people are. Okay? They won't care if you're here, if you was born here. They don't care. They hate everybody. That's how it's gonna be. They gonna hate everybody. I'm telling you. You don't know no better. See, this is why we always talk like this, and because in America, and to know you how you know you're American, because you always have to talk like I'm talking. You got to stand up and defend yourself and defend your position and worldviews of your people. See, you didn't learn that as Hispanic and Latinos. You have to have your politicians. You got to have them. If you don't have any politicians, what are you going to do with these crazy white people? You can't just not have no politicians. I know you thought you could just work and everything will be okay. No, buddy. In a perfect world, yeah. Not in America. In America's not no perfect world, buddy. No, you gotta have politicians. You gotta have good ones. Let's look at it like they're lawyers that voucher for your community. You have to have that. See, if you had top-notch politicians, the ICE situation would have already been talked about by your politician. So you don't have one. That's how you know you don't. AOC is the closest thing. She's you know, I don't know. You know, I can't really say. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say. All I know, man, is she's not really saying nothing. That's all I need to know. You need Hispanic and Latino politicians. This is why we have them in America, if you don't know. It's like a legal problem is going to happen eventually, right? You got to have a politician there in place. If you're not white, you have to have politicians. All the people, Asians, everybody. Asians got to have them too. Yes, sir. Because then who's going to vouch for you when everything gets bad? Who's going to be there for you? White people, they're not going to be there for you. It's got to be your own people. Even black people, we ain't. I mean, you know, we'll talk to a certain degree, but we ain't gonna talk for Hispanic and Latinos out there. Like with the ICE situation, you already can see that. You need your own people. They gonna have that full passion to go the full distance. Only your own people gonna do that, man. That's just real. That's just real. Only your own people gonna do that and be passionate enough to get out there every night and protest against ICE and how this stuff is going. Only your own people gonna be able to do that. Okay? Other than that, man, you know, you out here by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. You can't be, that's why now you see why black people always talking loud and talking like this. We stay like this. Now you get it. And then the more time goes by, you become a fighter here in America. And you smash them. Every time these people are out of pocket, you smash them. That's how you can't give them a break. You can't chill. No, you can't do nothing. You gotta be on them, bro. You gotta be on them. I'm telling you. See, right now, you need a politician talking about, well, how they can't just walk up to any person because they're Hispanic. See, that needs to be in check right now. It's not being in check though. Nobody's there talking about it though. See what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about it. You need somebody in a politician that would have made it all better. They would have been talking over the whole community and talking about it. It would have made it all better. Now, you know, but it's not been addressed. And they would have been talking about Venezuela, the boats being blown up. You would have had a politician talking about that. Nobody's doing it, right? That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you had a Hispanic or Latino person in place, they would be addressing that because that's Hispanic or Latino people. That's the same lane. You know what I'm saying? They'll be talking about that because that's your people. But you don't have no politician. Now you see why we like this. Now you see why black people always talking and how we always like this. You gotta stay like this in America. You can't be walking around here, oh, well, I'm gonna just take care of my family and everything gonna be good. Do you think that works? It'll work for a while until all hell breaks loose. It'll work for a while. That's why we like this. You can't just be here, oh, well, I'm gonna just work. Yeah, we all thought that. You know how many black people just worked and then stuff happened to them? Then we realized we have to fight all the time. This is why we like this. Some people think it's a lost cause. No, it's not. No, it's not. Look at the Hispanic and Latinos right now. They have nobody there to vouch for them. They have nobody in place. See, that's why we like this. That's why we always like this. See, it's a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale. You have to stay like this. You can't stop. You have to, in other words, you have to pose a political threat at all times in this country. If they know it's going to be a problem, they're not going to do it that easy. They know they can't play with black people like they used to because it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. It's going to be coming from every direction. But see, with you ain't got nobody in place, see? And see, now you realize it's not enough to work hard. It's just not enough. It's not enough in America. See what I'm saying? It's just not enough. You can work hard and look at this. Now you got people being pulled out of their cars and everything. And and they work hard. They do everything right. That's what woman was saying on TV. We work hard and everything, and she crying and saying we shouldn't go through this. Hard work is not enough in America. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, these people are like suffering from psychosis, man. I'm telling you, psychotic. If you worked hard, it would still be something else. If black people was working and we was all working, I guarantee it'd be something else. Oh, racism, that will be something else. That's what would be, wouldn't it? We could work hard all day and they gonna still hate you. We just ain't made it to that level. But it's common sense. can work hard all day, and then you got some racist person that kills you. Oh, it happened last year. 2 people was at the Dollar General, one of them, and 2 black people got killed from some random racist person while they was working. That's one of the most underrated stories that happened lately. 2 black people got killed at a Dollar General doing what their society expects them to do, working. It wasn't good enough, was it? See, that's heartbreaking. Look at that. They was working and doing what their society expect them to do. That's nothing else they could do. They was working. It's not enough in America, I'm telling you. It's not enough to work here. And it can happen to you anytime. You think it's all good? You think you're working? You think you at least complying to what common sense people would do, and that should gain the respect of everybody? It doesn't. It doesn't. It won't. You can work all day long and listen, it'll be somebody out there that hates you. That's America, bro. That's why we like this. Listen, man. I stay like this, man. That's why I believe in carrying arms and everything, and training yourself and getting ready for war and playing no games, taking no crap off nobody. All head shots, chest shots and head shots up. Learning how to shoot nothing but chest and head shots. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I'm dead serious. I don't know what you on. That's what I'm on. Chest shots and head shots. Straight up head shots. Straight to the head. Spray the head. That's all you gotta do. You gotta pose a threat in this country to be respected. You can't. That's why Charlie Kirk, he learned the hard way, man. You gotta pose a threat. You can't be out there talking like that and don't pose a threat. You learn from the past. The only thing they gonna respect is when you pose a threat, man. That's all. Other than that, man, listen, you can't come out here talking like Charlie Kirk and you ain't got no weapon on you. You ain't got no strap on you. Now, if he had a strap, the cowards wouldn't even try to do that. That's half of them. If Charlie Kirk could have easily, he was so close to Trump, he could have easily been walking around with a gun. It just wasn't in his belief system. That's all it had. That's the only thing that makes sense. Now, he might have had a gun at the house. Probably. I'm just guessing. Most American men do, right? These days. But he should have had it on him. You know what I'm saying? If you see people that's very controversial and they act like they mean you harm, bro. Listen, hey, you gotta pose a threat, bruh. See, people be trying to look morally good without carrying a weapon. Like a weapon make you look evil. It don't make me look evil. See, it's some people that's why I try to say it. That's what I'm trying to show you. Some people have a type of Christianity that is only moral. It's only the morality of the Christianity. It's not the full soldier that the Christian should become. That how David was. David was was a soldier, killing people. God people didn't walk around docile in the whole Bible. That's the new modern day Christian that think like this futuristic Christian where he ain't got to do nothing. You get my point? Like a year 3000 type of person. Like, I just gotta eat this broccoli. I warmed up my broccoli. It's a little too hot. That's his only worry. I got burnt by broccoli. I got burnt by my broccoli. It kind of burned me. Mom said put some butter on my burn. Man, you can't be docile like that, bro. You gotta be a lion. You gotta be a bloody lion out here, bro. And these cowards disperse when you become a lion. That's America. You can't be here and talking like Charlie Kirk. See, that tells us that time of talking and approaching the community, that is gone. That's gone. You can't do it. He showed us that's gone. You can't. That time is gone. That's why you got to leave these people alone. You don't see me out here trying to talk to these people, and that's what you thought Christianity was limited to. It comes a time where it's so evil, you don't come out here. No, that time is gone, bro. I'm not saying you can't do it at all, but you can't be having these planned things like he had. Nah, that time is gone, bro. When you arguing with people and all of that, nah, that time's gone. Now in the 90s, that would have been beautiful. If you would have been doing that in the 90s or the 80s or back, oh, they would have loved you. You would have been like a Billy Graham, some, national evangelist. They would have loved you. Now, no, man. People are stuck in their evil ways. It ain't being a coward. It's using. The Bible says this in Revelation 22:11. Let the unjust stay unjust still. Let the filthy stay filthy still. You let them stay like that. See, and that's the book of Revelation. It says, let the filthy stay filthy. What about that scripture? See, this is what I be thinking about, man. These are the kind of scriptures I be thinking about. Let the unjust stay unjust still. Let the filthy stay filthy still. Let the holy stay holy still. And I'm paraphrasing. You let them stay like that at some point. As a collective community, leave them be. Let them be. They already know about Jesus anyway. You're treading on already well-charted ground. They already know about Jesus. Go talk to other people in different countries. You got the internet. Talk to other people that ain't never heard about Jesus. That's who you should be talking to. You talk to these people that's already stuck in their ways, man. Pay attention. They're in a different condition than people that have never heard the Bible. They're a different type of condition. The condition where they suppressed their feelings to love God and to be a Christian. They suppressed it. That's a certain condition. Now that they're at that condition, you leave them alone. I don't talk to them, no. I ain't talking to them about the Lord, no. Nope. We in a whole different evil time. I'm not saying I'm totally shut down, but I know how to move. In the truth, Charlie Kirk, I'm just saying, he didn't know how to move. You got to know how to move out here. Where if you talking like me, listen, buddy, you gotta be carrying weapons too. Absolutely. And then that's gonna get rid of half of these cowards. And you gotta stop being in these open fields. You know what I'm saying? Out here, look at where people can go and shoot you. Snipers can shoot you from all these different places, bro. And see, some people they think just like just superstitious. I'm gonna be all right. I ain't worried about it. Okay. It ain't a matter of worrying about it. It's not a matter of worrying about it, bro. It's being prepared for it. You got them kind of dudes. I ain't worried about it. I ain't say you was worried about it. Yeah, I'm saying being prepared for it. I'm saying being prepared for it. Be prepared for it. I'm serious. I'm always inquiring about about the gun plug. I'm always inquiring about the gun plug. Don't ask around about me. Because that's the only thing that keep these suckers at bay. That's the only thing people respect. They respect the gun, buddy. Now you want to talk it out. At first you thought you was bad. Now you want to talk. Once they know you strapped, oh, now they want to talk about, well, we just thought this stuff. Nah, you was a sucker. That's what it was. You thought I was a sucker with you. Now you know a person is armed. Now you know they ain't playing no games. All you got to be is armed. Okay? That's the first part. Get armed. And then advance your armings. Advance your arms to where you got the best. But you got to have the principle of getting armed. You got to. That's the world we live in. That's what separates me from all these other leaders. Half of them was docile. Half of them didn't believe in carrying arms, and they could have had them. All of them that got assassinated. They could have carried. The president probably can carry special arms for himself to protect himself. Yeah. If I was the president, I want my own strap. Yes, sir. So I can protect myself at arm's length myself. What if you ain't there? What if you can't do what you... In that moment and window in time, what if I need to defend myself? It couldn't be me. Shoot. If I was the president, shoot, I have it on me. That's right. I have me a nice little arm on me. 2. I have me 2 on me, buddy. You're sitting right there. Yeah, you getting crazy? Oh, you getting crazy? Pull my strap out. Hey, you got a problem? Anybody got a problem? Okay. Yeah, president should be armed. Any president leader should be armed too. I'm dead serious. Man, it couldn't be me. It could be me. I'd be around here strapped, buddy. Bulletproof vest, everything. I'd be wearing a vest. If I was the president, I'd wear a vest and I have 2 guns. At all times. That's right. For any crazy wacko out there, yes, sir. Have me a vest and two pistols on it. I guarantee you, they know you got it on you. They ain't gonna try you. As the president, shoot, man. Cause hey, you can't have conceal and carry as the president. That's real. Why you couldn't? Cause it don't look presidential. Oh, it made me look like a dictator. Who cares? I don't care what it made me look like. It made me look like I'm an armed man. That's what it made me look like. Sure. Couldn't be me, bro. Couldn't be me. I'll be around there armed. Tell you. I'll be around there strapped. Shoot, you see me? Hey, I have all kind of little designer straps and everything. Boom. Be having Sean and everything. That's real. Be sitting up there talking. Hey, yeah, got a strap on him and everything. Yeah, we're gonna do this, and got a strap on you and everything. That's real. I'm dead serious. Why couldn't the president do that? He can't carry an arm. I'm pretty sure they can, but see, they trying to look political and conservative and all of that, man. I don't care nothing about looking no conservative. That's for any leader in the world. You should be walking around here with an arm on you at all times. I know I would. You got security, that's good, but what about militarily speaking? What about when it's right there and it's got to be you to take the shot? What if you got a better look at the guy who's doing it than everybody else, and you see it at that moment and window, and you the only one that can shoot him? What about that? Could be me. That's all I'm saying. Because I know in America, man, now you got these cartoons out here, these lone wolf cartoons that do stuff on their own. Now you got that element to deal with. And it's getting worse and worse. The element of the lone wolf cartoon kind of person. These bugged out people. That element getting worse and worse with every passing day. The threat of it is getting worse. See, people forget. People played with me. They played with me. That's why I'm like this. I'm not on no mission for no reason. People play with me to where I don't know who to trust in this country. It's understandable. Because people know about it. Okay then, so then I don't trust nobody. That's what makes me American. I trust nobody. I will hurt anybody. That also makes me American. You darn right. Playing with me, hey, yeah. Guess what, buddy? You might want to be careful with that. It's no game. It's no game. See, me being from North Carolina, had people don't know. You don't know when a North Carolina man talk like this, it's already a problem. It's already a problem. You wouldn't know if you're not from North Carolina. Because we not really rah-rah people. We kind of laid back. We start talking like this, it's a problem. See, but they ain't gonna know that being in New York. They used to people talking all loud, talking crazy all the time. When a North Carolina man talk like this, it's a problem. I tell you. Ain't no way in the world I'm walking around without no arms or anything. Ain't no way. Cause see, my enemies, they not gonna prove that they bad in this situation. They not gonna prove it. You're not gonna prove, just like Prodigy said in his song Young Veteran, you're trying to make points that you ain't gonna prove. They trying to make points they ain't gonna prove, bro. And that's a New York person. He was a New York person. Is you trying to make points that you ain't gonna prove? You know, you're not. It's too late. It's too late to prove those things. You know, so if I were you and you try to come to this country, I don't recommend coming to this country. I don't recommend it because it's gonna get a lot worse. It's gonna get a lot worse, buddy. You know, so you know, it's just you gotta trust God. That's the main thing. You gotta trust God to lead you. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no way you can beat all this stuff on your own. You gotta have God. You gotta have God to beat this stuff. Everything. All this stuff. See, that's how it really supposed to be. We supposed to use God to defeat. God's, you know what I mean? God is our protection. We come to Him to handle these problems. You know what I'm saying? Because all this stuff going on, ain't nobody can be arrogant enough to talk about they know what it's going to be. Even the people you think is on your side, you can't even talk about, you don't even know what that's going to be like. I'm talking about as far as these politicians and stuff and these authorities. You don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to trip. With this ICE situation going on and then the stuff they blowing up boats and all of this stuff and all of that, I don't trust these people. I don't trust them. They starting to feel exactly how I felt. Like I said, Trump got he got the MAGA. MAGA is like his own party. Like I ain't saying the Nazi party, but it's his own party. He can mobilize them like his own